Right? I don't expect it'll be some earth-shattering, like mind-blowing thing, but I do see and I believe that people will be on that list that people don't assume, and it'll be shocking to some. So Trump, I don't know. I mean, they do say he's close to people, but I don't know. I like to believe, that he's a family man and he holds certain values, and so that's what I'm shooting for. So I doubt he will be, though.
Inside the Justice Department, frustration is boiling over, and the clock is ticking. With a hard deadline looming on Friday, DOJ lawyers are racing to redact thousands upon thousands of pages tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. According to multiple sources familiar with the process, the task is overwhelming, chaotic, and coming down to the wire. Each attorney is handling document stacks that can exceed 1,000 pages, all under intense time pressure. The work began in earnest around Thanksgiving, and since then, lawyers have been working nonstop, trying to balance transparency with strict legal limits. The stakes are high. The files include grand jury records, FBI materials, and internal Justice Department discussions. Every page must be reviewed line by line to decide what can legally be released and what must be blacked out to protect victims, private individuals, and executive or legal privileges. Sources say a massive number of redactions are unavoidable, but confusion inside the department is adding to the strain. Lawyers working on the files, many from the DOJ's National Security Division, reportedly say they haven't received clear or consistent guidance on how much information they're supposed to make public. According to CNN, the internal instructions amount to just 4 pages, and nearly all of them focus on exemptions that allow information to be withheld. Counterintelligence specialists were pulled off almost all other work to focus on the Epstein files. Some lawyers flat out refused to take part. All of this stems from an act of Congress that forced the Trump administration to finally release Epstein-related documents, after months of promises about transparency that failed to materialize. Even now, sources told CNN that Friday's release may not bring real clarity. Large portions of the documents are expected to remain heavily redacted, the very kind of opacity that has fueled public distrust for years. Some legal experts are already bracing for mistakes. Earlier this year, the Justice Department accidentally exposed Social Security numbers and private information of more than 400 people while releasing documents related to the JFK assassination, another rushed, high-pressure redaction effort. This time, the consequences could be even more severe. For Epstein's victims, the process has been painful and isolating. Several survivors told CNN they received no outreach from the Justice Department ahead of the release and feel completely in the dark. And adding to the confusion is who's doing the work. The National Security Division, not typically responsible for sex crimes, document transparency, or Epstein-related investigations, inherited the project. While the division has experience handling sensitive information, experts say there's little connection between Epstein and national security. Still, that's where the manpower was available. As the deadline approaches, one thing is clear. The release of these files may not end the controversy. Instead, it may open a new chapter filled with redactions, questions, and renewed scrutiny over what the public is still not being allowed to see.
I'm glad that it's finally happening. It shouldn't have taken this long, unfortunately, but kudos to our government kudos to Trump for finally getting it out. Obviously, there was a lot of controversy around it. I don't know what the reason was for that. It scares some of the Republicans who voted for him to now know that he kind of changed his gears, but we're glad that it's back on track, and I hope that it'll bring a lot of transparency to the deep state and to D.C. But pictures don't inherently mean evil, and so I think hoping that these files will bring transparency to that will relieve a lot of the Republican voters, but will also show us who we should be concerned about, Democrat and Republican.
I think it's important. Anybody that sexualizes children should be accountable for their acts, and I don't care what side of the political aisle or how rich they are. So I support that.
And so, I mean, any way that we can protect innocent children that are being targeted at any level, we're in support of that.